This plain and forgotten patio is about to become a comfortable outdoor retreat, and I'm going to show you exactly how to create every part of it yourself. We're not just looking at finished ideas. For each project, I'll tell you what materials you need, how to assemble everything, where to position it, and the important mistakes you should avoid. Most of these projects require only basic tools, and you can adjust the measurements to fit a small balcony, concrete patio, covered porch, or larger backyard. Stay until number 20, because that final project will show you how to combine all 19 ideas into one organized patio that looks professionally planned. Before starting, measure the length and width of your patio. Draw its basic shape on paper and mark the doors, steps, walkways, electrical outlets, and water taps. Watch the space during the morning and afternoon so you know where the strongest sunlight falls. Also notice the direction rainwater travels after a storm. Keep at least one clear route between the house and backyard. Don't build over drains, block doors, or position furniture where people will constantly walk into it. Wear eye protection when cutting or drilling, use gloves when handling rough materials, and follow the instructions provided with every paint, power tool, electrical product, and outdoor appliance. Once your measurements are ready, we can begin with the foundation of the entire transformation. DIY number 1 is giving the patio a complete reset. Remove every chair, planter, rug, and decoration. Sweep the entire surface, including the corners and the area beside the house. Pull weeds from the joints by hand or use a narrow weeding tool. Don't simply cut off the leaves. Remove as much of the root as possible so the weeds are slower to return. Next, mix a cleaning solution that is safe for your particular surface. Concrete, natural stone, painted floors, wood, and composite decking require different products, so read the label before applying anything. Wet the patio lightly, apply the cleaner, and leave it for the recommended amount of time. Scrub one small section at a time using a stiff brush, paying extra attention to dark stains and slippery green buildup. Rinse the surface thoroughly and direct the dirty water away from plants, ponds, and storm drains if the cleaning product could harm them. Allow the patio to dry completely. You may discover that the surface looks dramatically better and doesn't need to be replaced. Now that we have a clean foundation, we can make that plain floor look more decorative. DIY number 2 is painting an outdoor rug directly onto a concrete patio. First, arrange your main chairs where you want the seating area to remain. Mark the approximate position of the front legs, then remove the furniture. Measure a rectangle large enough to sit beneath the front legs of every chair. A size around 5 by 7 feet works for a compact seating area, but adjust that measurement to your patio. Use chalk to mark the 4 corners. Measure both diagonals. If the diagonal measurements are equal, your rectangle is square. Apply painter's tape along the outside of the chalk lines. Press the edges firmly, so paint cannot bleed underneath. If your surface requires primer, apply it now and allow it to dry. Roll on the first thin coat of exterior floor or masonry paint, working from the farthest corner toward your exit. Allow that coat to dry before applying the second one. For a decorative border, place another line of tape about 3 inches inside the first edge and paint the narrow space in a contrasting color. Remove the tape while the final coat is still slightly soft. Then allow the surface to cure for the full period stated on the paint container. Once the furniture returns, the painted rug will visually hold the seating area together. DIY number 3 is making mismatched furniture look like one coordinated set. Begin by checking every chair for loose screws, cracked joints, sharp edges, and serious rust. Repair structural problems before worrying about appearance. Clean each frame and allow it to dry. Lightly sand glossy paint and remove loose rust or flaking material. Wipe away all sanding dust. Place the furniture on a drop cloth in a well-ventilated outdoor area. Apply a primer made for the material you're painting. Metal, timber, and plastic may require different primers. When the primer is dry, apply several light coats of outdoor paint instead of one heavy coat. Hold spray paint the recommended distance from the surface and keep the can moving to prevent drips. Allow each coat to dry before turning the chair and painting the missed areas. Choose one frame color for all the pieces. Matte black gives mismatched shapes a modern appearance, while white or light beige creates a brighter garden style. Finish the set with cushions that repeat 2 or 3 colors. For example, use mostly neutral cushions with 2 green accent cushions that connect the furniture to the surrounding plants. The shapes may still be different, but the repeated colors will make everything look intentional. DIY number 4 is a narrow C-shaped side table that can slide partly under a patio chair. Measure the height from the patio floor to the top of your chair's arm. Subtract about 1 inch. That will be the approximate height of the table. Cut one board for the top, one for the vertical support, and one for the base. A beginner-friendly size is 12 inches wide and 18 inches long for the top and base, with the vertical board cut to the height you measured. Sand all faces and soften the sharp corners. Position the vertical board upright at one end of the base. Apply exterior wood glue, pre-drill the holes, and drive at least 3 exterior screws through the bottom of the base into the vertical board. Attach the top to the opposite end of the vertical support in the same way. Use a carpenter's square to confirm that the top and support form a right angle. If the table wobbles, add a small triangular timber brace beneath the top. Apply exterior stain, paint, or clear sealer to every surface, including the underside. Let it cure before use. Test the finished table beside the chair. The base should slide underneath while the top rests conveniently beside the arm. DIY number 5 is a vertical herb garden for a small patio. Start with a freestanding outdoor trellis or a metal grid that can be safely secured. A freestanding design is useful for renters because it doesn't require permanent wall holes. Check that the base cannot tip forward after the containers are filled with wet soil. Choose lightweight containers with drainage holes. Attach the empty containers to the grid using hooks or brackets rated to carry more than their finished weight. Leave enough space between them for the mature plants. If containers are positioned directly above one another, water from the top may flood the plants below, so stagger the rows. Fill each container with fresh potting mix rather than heavy garden soil. Plant herbs according to their light and moisture needs. Rosemary, thyme, and oregano generally prefer brighter conditions and less frequent watering. Parsley and mint can tolerate more moisture, but mint should remain in its own container because it spreads aggressively. Place taller herbs near the top or back and frequently harvested herbs between waist and shoulder height. Water slowly until moisture drains from the bottom. If the wall is above a delicate floor, place a tray underneath to catch excess water. In a few weeks, the blank wall will become a useful source of fresh herbs. DIY number 6 is a movable privacy planter with a trellis. Decide how much of the view you want to screen. A planter about 3 feet long, 16 inches wide, and 18 inches deep provides room for several plants while remaining manageable. Build a rectangular frame from exterior timber. Add a supported base with drainage gaps and fasten the corners using exterior screws. Attach 4 heavy-duty locking casters to reinforce sections beneath the planter. Make sure their combined weight rating is greater than the planter, wet soil, trellis, and mature plants. Line the inside walls with landscape fabric, but don't completely seal the drainage openings. Fill the bottom with the potting mixture recommended for your plants. Attach 2 upright posts to the planter frame. Secure the trellis between them using exterior screws and washers. The trellis should be connected to the actual frame, not just the thin decorative boards. Plant suitable climbers near the back and tie young stems loosely to the trellis using soft plant ties. Roll the planter into position, lock all 4 wheels, and confirm that it cannot tip in the wind. As the plants grow, guide the stems sideways as well as upward. This encourages better coverage across the entire screen. Quick pause. If you're enjoying a tutorial that actually shows you how to complete the projects, subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments which patio problem you're trying to solve: privacy, heat, storage, lighting, or lack of space. We've finished 6 projects, but the transformations become much bigger from this point. DIY number 7 is a modern timber privacy screen. Measure the area you want to cover, but don't automatically block the entire patio. Screening only the direct sightline usually provides privacy while preserving airflow and light. Build a rectangular frame using exterior rated timber. Place 2 vertical sides on a flat surface and connect them with a top and bottom rail. Check the frame by measuring diagonally from corner to corner. Adjust it until both diagonal measurements match. Cut the slats to equal lengths. Position the first slat against one side of the frame and secure it at the top and bottom. Cut a small spacer block about 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch wide. Place it beside the first slat, push the next slat against it, and secure that slat. Continue using the same spacer for every gap. This keeps the finished pattern straight and professional. Sand the screen and apply exterior stain or paint to the front, back, sides, and cut ends. Finally, secure the screen to structurally suitable posts or supports. Large screens can catch powerful winds, so don't depend on small decorative brackets or weak fences. DIY number 8 is adding washable outdoor curtains. Measure from the curtain support to about 1 inch above the patio floor. Keeping the fabric slightly above the ground prevents it from collecting dirt and rainwater. Install an outdoor curtain rod or corrosion-resistant tension wire beneath a structurally sound patio roof. Add a center support if the span is wide. Choose exterior curtains with rust-resistant eyelets. If you're adapting outdoor fabric, fold the bottom edge upward, secure it with outdoor fabric tape, and press it according to the product instructions. Thread the panels onto the rod and test how they move. Add a tie back to each support post so the curtains can remain open during normal use. When you need privacy or protection from low sunlight, release the panels and pull them across the opening. Don't place the fabric near grills, heaters, fire pits, or open flames. Secure or remove it during strong winds. The soft fabric will reduce the hard, unfinished feeling created by concrete, metal, and timber. DIY number 9 is installing shade where it will actually be useful. Place temporary chairs on the patio and observe the sunlight during the hottest hours. Mark where shade is needed at that time, not where the shadow falls early in the morning. Measure the space between your proposed anchor points. Purchase a shade sail that leaves room for the tensioning hardware at every corner. The sail should not be stretched flat like a tabletop. Position at least one corner lower than the others so rainwater can drain. Only attach it to supports capable of handling strong pulling forces. Suitable supports may include verified structural walls or properly installed posts. A weak fence panel, gutter, or decorative trim is not an acceptable anchor. Connect the sail using the recommended brackets, shackles, and tensioners. Tighten each corner gradually, moving around the sail rather than fully tightening one corner at a time. Stop when the fabric is firm and smooth without being stretched beyond the manufacturer's recommendation. Watch the sail during the next moderate wind and rainfall. If water collects or the hardware moves, remove the sail and correct the installation before continuing to use it. DIY number 10 is creating 3 levels of patio lighting. Begin with the highest layer. Plan a zigzag or perimeter pattern for outdoor rated string lights. Install proper support hooks instead of wrapping the electrical cable tightly around nails. Use a separate guide wire if the manufacturer recommends one for long spans. Keep the lights away from moving curtains, tree branches, and any heat source. The middle layer should sit close to eye level when people are seated. Place rechargeable outdoor lamps or enclosed solar lanterns on side tables and the storage bench. For the lowest layer, position solar lights beside steps, planters, and pathway edges. The lights should identify changes in level without shining directly into people's eyes. Test the arrangement after dark. If one area is too bright, move that light farther away instead of adding more lights everywhere. Use a similar warm white color across all 3 layers. The repeated color will make the patio look coordinated, while the different heights create depth and atmosphere. DIY number 11 is building a simple storage bench. For a 2-person bench, create a frame about 48 inches long, 18 inches deep, and 18 inches high. Adjust these measurements for your available space. Build 2 rectangular side frames using exterior timber. Connect them with long horizontal rails at the front, back, top, and bottom. Check that the structure is square before tightening all the screws. Cover the front and sides with spaced timber boards. Leave small gaps for ventilation and drainage. Attach seat boards to a separate top frame, then connect that frame to the back of the bench using strong exterior hinges. Install lid supports on both sides so the seat cannot fall suddenly onto someone's fingers. Add short weather-resistant feet beneath the bench to keep the timber out of standing water. Sand every exposed corner and apply exterior paint or sealer. Store gardening accessories and outdoor toys inside, but keep cushions in an additional waterproof bag or container if the bench itself isn't completely watertight. Add a seat cushion on top, and you now have storage and extra seating in the same footprint. DIY number 12 is turning 2 simple benches into a corner lounge. Measure your chosen corner and mark a clear walking route on the floor using painter's tape. Position one bench along each wall to create an L shape. Keep the seat height and depth consistent so the 2 sections feel like one piece of furniture. If you're building the benches, use the same basic frame as the storage bench, but create one long section and one shorter return section. Bring the 2 pieces together and connect their frames using removable bolts or exterior screws in a location that won't touch anyone sitting down. Place non-slip pads beneath the legs if the furniture moves across smooth concrete. Add firm seat cushions and use individual back cushions instead of one long cushion. Individual cushions are easier to clean and can be moved to support different seating positions. Place a small table near the open end rather than in the center of the walkway. Test the arrangement by opening the nearby door and walking between the house and garden. If people must turn sideways, reduce the furniture depth or move the lounge farther into the corner. DIY number 13 is creating 3 planter risers. Cut 3 square platforms from exterior timber. Make one approximately 6 inches high, the second 12 inches high, and the third 18 inches high. Build each riser like a small, strong stool. Attach 4 legs beneath the platform and add cross braces if the legs are tall. Pre-drill the holes, use exterior screws, and confirm that every riser sits flat without rocking. Sand and seal all the surfaces. Allow the finish to cure before adding plants. Place the tallest riser at the back, the middle one slightly forward, and the shortest one at the front. Position the largest plant on the lowest platform and lighter pots on the taller stands. Never place a heavy container on a narrow or unstable riser. Use containers that repeat the same color or material. Mix upright plants with rounded foliage and one trailing plant that can spill over the front. These different levels will allow every plant to remain visible and make a small collection look much fuller. DIY number 14 is making a simple recirculating water bowl. Choose a wide, watertight outdoor container at least 12 inches deep. Place it on a strong, level surface close to a properly protected outdoor power source if the pump requires one. Put an outdoor-rated recirculating pump in the bottom. Attach the fountain nozzle or short piece of tubing supplied with the pump. Place several clean bricks or an upside-down planting basket around the pump to support decorative stones. Don't cover the intake or trap the pump where you can't reach it. Fill the bowl with clean water until the pump is fully submerged. Connect it according to its safety instructions and adjust the flow. The water should fall back inside the bowl without splashing across the patio. Add a few large stones around the outlet, but leave part of the water surface open. Check the level every few days and never allow the pump to run dry. Empty and clean the bowl regularly so the water doesn't become stagnant. The gentle sound will make the seating area feel calmer while adding movement to an empty corner. DIY number 15 is creating outdoor lanterns without an open flame. Collect 3 metal or weather-resistant lantern containers in different heights. Clean them and make sure they have ventilation openings. Remove the top section from 3 outdoor solar stake lights. Don't cut the wiring or open the battery compartment. We only need the complete removable light unit. Position 1 solar light inside each lantern with the panel facing upward. Secure it using the supplied fitting or a removable clip so it can still be taken out for cleaning and battery replacement. Place the lanterns together instead of spreading them randomly. Use the tallest one at the back and the shortest at the front. Position the group beside a planter, near the lounge, or at the edge of the patio. Keep it outside the main walking route. Allow the panels to charge in direct sunlight. When evening arrives, the 3 different heights will produce a layered glow without the risks created by burning candles. DIY number 16 is turning a worn patch beside the patio into a gravel extension. Mark the new area using a garden hose for curves or string for straight edges. Confirm that you aren't covering utilities, drainage points, or inspection covers. Remove the grass and organic material inside the marked area. Excavate to the depth required for your base and gravel while maintaining drainage away from the house. Compact the soil using a hand tamper. Install strong edging around the perimeter and make sure the top of the edging sits slightly above the finished gravel. Add the appropriate compactable base material in thin layers. Tamp each layer before adding the next. If landscape fabric is appropriate for your soil and installation, place it above the prepared base and overlap the seams. Pour the decorative gravel into the area, spread it with a rake, and compact it where the gravel type allows. Keep the finished level below nearby door thresholds and don't allow loose stones to cover steps or narrow pathways. Add 2 large planters or a small seating set. The previously unusable strip will now look like a deliberate part of the patio. DIY number 17 is creating a fire pit gathering area. First, check local fire regulations and the clearance instructions supplied with your fire pit. Select an open location away from the house, fences, trees, curtains, shade sails, string lights, and anything else that can burn. Prepare a level non-combustible surface large enough for the approved fire pit and its required clearances. Don't place a wood-burning fire pit directly on grass, timber decking, or beneath a covered patio. Position the fire pit in the center and arrange the chairs outside the minimum safety distance. Leave a wide opening between two chairs so people can enter and leave without walking close to the fire. Keep an appropriate extinguishing method nearby. Never use petrol or another flammable liquid to light it, and never leave a fire unattended. If your patio cannot safely accommodate a flame, replace the fire pit with a group of approved flameless lanterns. You will still create a strong evening focal point without introducing an unsafe feature. DIY number 18 is making the seating area less inviting to mosquitoes. Begin by inspecting everything that can hold water. Empty plant saucers, buckets, toys, clogged containers, and folded covers. Scrub the inside of containers before returning them because mosquito eggs can remain attached to the sides. Clear leaves from drainage channels and refresh the water in decorative features regularly. Next, move very dense pots and foliage a little farther away from the chairs. This opens the area and improves airflow. Place an outdoor-rated pedestal or wall fan where it can move air across the seating area without blocking the walkway. Secure the cable safely and connect it only to an appropriate outdoor power source. Select a gentle but steady speed. The fan will make hot evenings more comfortable, and the moving air can make it harder for mosquitoes to remain around seated guests. Repeat the standing water inspection every week and follow local public health advice if mosquitoes are a serious problem in your area. DIY number 19 is a fold-down serving or potting station. Cut an exterior rated board approximately 36 inches long and 16 inches deep. Sand the faces and round the front corners. Apply exterior paint or sealer to every side and allow it to cure. Attach two heavy-duty folding shelf brackets beneath the board. Position each bracket the same distance from its nearest end. Choose a working height. Around 36 inches is comfortable for many adults, but adjust it for your needs. Mark a level horizontal line on the wall. Locate structural supports and install the shelf using fixings suitable for that wall material. Do not attach a load-bearing shelf to thin siding or an unknown surface. Open the brackets and test the shelf with gentle pressure before placing anything on it. Never exceed the bracket manufacturer's weight limit. Add a short rail beneath the shelf for lightweight hand tools or reusable cups. Use the open surface when serving food, arranging plants, or completing small gardening jobs. Fold it against the wall afterward to recover your walking space. DIY number 20 is combining your completed projects into 3 organized zones. This is the step that prevents the finished patio from looking like a random collection of furniture and weekend projects. Start by removing everything movable from the patio again. Use painter's tape or chalk to mark a clear pathway from the house to the backyard. Keep that route open throughout the arrangement. Your first area will be the relaxation zone. Position the corner lounge or main chairs where you have the best shade and privacy. Place the painted rug beneath the front legs to define the area. Slide the C-shaped table beside the most comfortable chair. Put the storage bench against the nearest wall and add the outdoor curtains or privacy screen behind the seating. At night, this area should receive light from above, table height, and ground level. Your second area will be the growing zone. Place the vertical herb garden against the wall that receives the correct amount of sunlight. Position the rolling privacy planter where it blocks an unwanted view without closing the walkway. Group the 3 planter risers nearby. Don't scatter individual pots across every edge of the patio. Keeping the plants together creates a stronger display and makes watering easier. Your third area will be the gathering zone. Position the fold-down station near the house, so food, drinks, and gardening materials don't need to travel across the entire patio. Place the water bowl where it can be seen and heard from the seating area without splashing onto the walkway. If you created a safe fire pit area, keep it in its separate approved position beyond the covered patio. Now stand at the entrance and look across the whole backyard. Remove anything blocking the view of your best plant or feature. Turn the chairs slightly toward one another to encourage conversation. Make sure every door opens fully and every pathway remains comfortable. Finally, connect the zones using repeated colors and materials. If your privacy screen has a warm timber finish, repeat that finish on the side table and planter risers. If your cushions contain green, repeat a similar green in 2 planters or small decorations. Use the same warm white color for all the lighting. You don't need every object to match. You only need a few repeated details to make the design feel connected. The original space was simply an empty surface. The new patio has a place to sit, a place to grow plants, a place to serve guests, hidden storage, useful shade, better privacy, and lighting that allows the backyard to remain inviting after sunset. That is the real secret to transforming a patio yourself. Give every part of the space a clear purpose before you decorate it. Let's recap the 3 projects that created the biggest change. Number 10 gave the patio high, middle, and low lighting. Number 16 turned wasted ground into a usable gravel extension. And number 20 organized everything into areas for relaxing, growing, and gathering. You don't have to complete all 20 projects at once. Choose the biggest problem in your backyard and begin there. If you need privacy, start with the planter screen. If the patio is too hot, solve the shade problem. If it always looks untidy, build the storage bench. And if the space feels confused, create your 3 zones before buying anything else. Tell me in the comments which project you're going to build first. If this guide helped you, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical backyard projects you can complete yourself. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next one.